Washcloths make a perfect first project or even an easy gift. So which stitch do you choose? Hello crochet friends and welcome back to Yarn Over Hook. My name is Sammy and for today's video I put together 5 stitches I think are perfect for a washcloth. The Sedge Stitch is a really nice reversible stitch that offers a very unique texture. Paired single crochet stitch is another one that's reversible and offers a nice rough texture, perfect for a washcloth. Linked extended single crochet is another one that has a nice texture, great for a washcloth. The Cobblestone Stitch is a one-sided stitch that makes for a nice, beautiful washcloth. And the Waffle Stitch, a classic, a beautiful, unique texture that will offer some nice pizzazz to your kitchen. I'm so excited to show you these stitches, so let's get into it. For the Sedge Stitch, you want a chain of a multiple of 3. You can work in the top portion of the chain, or you can turn it over and work in the bumps. I'm going to work in the bumps today. So you want to skip the first 2 chains closest to your hook and do a half double crochet in the 3rd chain. And then you want to do a double crochet into that same chain. And that's our first sedge. That's our first sedge of our sedge stitch, I guess. So this chain 2 counts as a single crochet in this stitch. Your turning chain will count as a single crochet as you go up in rows, so that is something to keep in mind, but I will show you as well. We're going to skip these 2 chains and do a single crochet in that 3rd chain from our first sedge stitch. And then you're going to do a half double crochet into that same chain. And then a double crochet into that same chain. And that's it. You'll just repeat this, skip 2 chains, do those 3 stitches, single crochet, half double crochet, and double crochet, all the way until the end. We'll do another one. We're going to skip 2, 1, 2, and in this 3rd chain, start with our single crochet. And then a half double. And then a double. Skip 2 chains, 1, 2, and in our last chain, we are just going to do a single crochet. And that's our first row. Then we're going to turn. We'll chain 1. That is going to count as our single crochet of that group, the single crochet, half double crochet, and double crochet group. And then in that single crochet that we did from that first row, that last stitch that we did, we're going to do a half double crochet. And then a double crochet in that same single crochet from the previous row. And that makes up our first sedge of the 2nd row. Then, for the 2nd row, instead of going into our chain, we're actually going to skip the double crochet, half double crochet, and go into the single crochet of the sedge from the previous row. You're going to do this henceforth. You'll crochet the single crochet, half double crochet, and double crochet group into the single crochet of the previous row. You can see it as just skipping 2 and then going into that third, but you want to be sure that you're going into the single crochet of the previous row. So let's start with our single crochet. And then a double, half double crochet. And then our double crochet. I'm getting ahead of myself. We're going to skip 2, 1, 2, and go into this third. Let's double check that that is our single crochet from the previous row. And it is. Let's go ahead and go in there. Single crochet, half double crochet, and then double crochet. And then once we reach the end here, we are actually going to go into our chain 2 and do our single crochet. So remember, this counts as our single crochet of that sedge. So we'll just go in there and do our single crochet. You can go into the chain or you can go into the top of those 2 chains there. So that's 1, 2. So you can go into this top one here. There we go. And do a single crochet. Then you will turn and chain 1. This chain will count as your first single crochet in that group. So our next stitch will be a half double crochet. Go into that single crochet of the previous row, half double crochet, and then double crochet. Then we are going to count 1, 2, and go into the third stitch, making sure that it is a single crochet stitch from the previous row. And do a single crochet first, then a half double crochet, and then a double crochet. Skip 2, find that single crochet, insert your hook and do a single crochet into that, half double crochet, and then a double crochet. And then you're going to do a single crochet to end the row in the chain that you did of that previous row, because that chain counts as a single crochet. So that is a little bit difficult to find sometimes. You want to take your time to really locate it. Here it is for me. See how you can identify that chain there. Get a little bit closer. You can identify it here. And you just insert your hook into there. And do your single crochet. And that will end your row. I definitely recommend not doing your turning chain too tight, or it will definitely be difficult to find. Then you will turn and chain 1. Again, not making it too tight so that we are able to find it when we end that next row. And then you will half double crochet into that single crochet of the previous row, because again, that turning chain counts as our single crochet. And then a double crochet. And then skip 2, locate that single crochet of the previous row, insert your hook and do a single crochet, half double crochet and double crochet, all in the same single crochet stitch. And then you will just repeat that same row until your desired length. Remember to identify your turning chain when you end the row and put your single crochet into that. To begin your paired single crochet project, you want to chain any number of chains plus 1. Then turn it over, we're going to work in the bumps. What makes up this pattern is single crocheting 2 stitches together. So we're going to skip this first chain and we're going to crochet into the second and third chain. So insert your hook into that second chain from your hook, yarn over and pull through. Insert your hook into the next chain, yarn over and pull through. We have 3 loops on our hook. We're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 of those loops to complete our single crochet 2 together. And that's our stitch. The paired single crochet just makes up of this same stitch, but with a kind of special technique. So, because we single crocheted 2 together, in order to keep our stitch count consistent, we have to work into this chain again. So the second stitch that you go into, once you have completed your single crochet 2 together, you're going to go back into that same stitch to begin your next single crochet 2 together. So we'll put our hook right back into this chain here first. Yarn over and pull through. Then we will insert our hook into the next chain, yarn over and pull through. We have 3 loops on our hook. We'll yarn over and pull through all 3 of those loops. And that is our pair of single crochet 2 together. We will just keep doing this all the way to the end. So let's do it again. We're going to insert our hook first into this stitch here, the one that we just finished that stitch in. Yarn over and pull through. And then into the next chain, yarn over and pull through. We have 3 loops on our hook. We'll yarn over and pull through all 3 of those loops. Going back into that stitch that we just finished, yarn over, pull through. Insert your hook into that next chain, yarn over, and pull through. 3 loops on our hook, we'll yarn over and pull through all 3 of those loops. And again, inserting our hook back into that stitch we just finished, yarn over and pull through. Insert your hook into that next chain, yarn over and pull through. 3 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 of those loops. And then our last one right here in our last chain. So we'll insert our hook back into that same stitch that we just finished, yarn over and pull through. Insert your hook into that last chain, yarn over and pull through. 3 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 of those loops. We have our first row of paired single crochet. Look at how awesome that's already looking. It's so cool. This texture is awesome. Then from here, we will chain 1 and turn. If you noticed, I did my chain pretty loose. You're going to want to do that because when we come back, we will be working our last pair, our last pair, single crochet 2 together into that chain. So make sure that you don't do your turning chain too tight. And then for the next row, we'll insert our hook into that last single crochet 2 together that we've just finished. Yarn over and pull through. And then the next stitch as well. Insert your hook, yarn over, and pull through. 3 loops on our hook, yarn over, and pull through all 3 of those loops. And we'll do that again. Insert your hook back into that same stitch that we just finished, yarn over, and pull through. Insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, and pull through. 3 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 of those loops. And we'll do it again. And the next stitch. 3 loops on our hook. And we'll just keep doing this again until the end. You see how quickly this could crochet up? Once you get that rhythm down, it is very nice. All right, and here you might think that we are done. We are not. We have to do one more. So this might have been our first single crochet 2 together right here, and we just finished one, but we can actually do one more in order to keep our count. And we're going to put our hook into that chain that we skipped all the way at the beginning. Do you remember? We're going to insert our hook into there after we insert our hook into the stitch we just finished. So we'll pop our hook back into there, yarn over, and pull through. Then we're going to pull up this chain and insert our hook, yarn over, and pull through. We have 3 loops on our hook. We'll yarn over and pull through all 3 of those loops. And then loosely chain 1. So that is exactly what I mean by you do not want to do your chains too tight. Otherwise, you will not be able to complete that last single crochet 2 together. Then from here, you'll turn and you'll just repeat it. You'll single crochet 2 together. Remember going back into that stitch that you finish. And then once you reach the end, you do not want to miss the last stitch in that chain. So we'll do this row again, and I will show you one more time how to end your row. All right, and remember, this is not our last stitch. We have to do one more, going back into that stitch we just finished, and our chain 1, our turning chain. You've got to remember this last step in order to keep your count, to keep your stitches. So just like that. And then loosely chain 1. And there you have it. You can already see that really fun texture coming through here. It is so, so cool. I really enjoy this stitch. So what is Yarn Over Hook? Yarn Over Hook is a free social community for crocheters to create, learn, and connect with other crocheters around the world. Share your current projects, ideas, inspirations, anything that's got you hooked. So follow the link in the description below to create your free account today. I cannot wait to see what you are creating. To start your linked extended single crochet project, you want an odd number of chains plus 2. Then turn it over, we're going to work in the bumps. You want to skip the first 2 bumps closest to your hook, 1, 2, and we're going to work in the 3rd and 4th bump. Insert your hook into that 3rd bump, yarn over, and pull through. Insert your hook into that fourth bump, yarn over, and pull through. You should have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops only. Yarn over, and pull through the remaining 2 loops on your hook. And then chain 1. That chain 1 is essential. You have essentially linked 2 stitches together into one, so we need that chain to accommodate for that. So don't forget your chain 1 after. Let's do it again. Insert your hook into that next chain, yarn over, and pull through. Insert your hook into the next chain, yarn over, and pull through. 3 loops on our hook. Yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops only. Yarn over, and pull through the remaining 2 loops on your hook. And then chain 1. Insert your hook into the following chain, yarn over, and pull through. Insert your hook into the next chain, yarn over, and pull through. Yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over, and pull through the remaining 2 loops, and chain 1. Then we'll do one more on these next 2. Insert your hook, yarn over, and pull through. Insert your hook into the next one, yarn over, and pull through. Yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, and pull through the remaining 2 loops on your hook, and chain 1. And then for our last stitch, we're just going to do a regular single crochet. So insert your hook, yarn over, and pull through. Yarn over, pull through both of those loops. And that's our first row. Chain 2, and then turn. We are essentially going to do the same thing that we just did. Insert your hook into that single crochet, yarn over, and pull through. Insert your hook into the chain space that we created, yarn over, and pull through. Yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, and pull through the remaining 2 loops on your hook. And don't forget that chain 1. Insert your hook into that linked extended single crochet. That is a mouthful, I'm not gonna lie. Yarn over and pull through. Insert your hook into the chain space, yarn over, and pull through. Yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, and pull through the remaining 2 loops on your hook, and chain 1. Insert your hook into that next linked extended single crochet, yarn over, and pull through. Insert your hook into the chain space, yarn over, and pull through. Yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, and pull through the remaining 2 loops on your hook. Chain 1. Insert your hook into the next linked extended single crochet, yarn over, and pull through. Chain space, yarn over, and pull through. Yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through the remaining 2 loops on your hook, and chain 1. Then for our last stitch, which is the first linked extended single crochet that we made, you're just going to put a single crochet. And you'll do that for every row. Chain 2, and just repeat. Row 2. That's it. I think that this stitch is perfect for a blanket because it honestly crochets up very quickly. But I would love to know what you end up making with this stitch. For your cobblestone project, you want an even number of foundation single crochet. If you are going to do a standard chain, then you want to chain an even number plus 1. Do a single crochet into the second chain from your hook and all the way across. that you end up with an even number of single crochet for your first row. Then you will chain 1 and turn. In our first stitch, we will do a triple/treble crochet. Yarn over twice, insert your hook into that stitch, yarn over and pull through. Yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the next 2 loops, yarn over and pull through the last 2 loops. I always have to do a triple crochet very slowly, so that will be very helpful for this tutorial. And then you will do a single crochet in the next stitch. That pulls down that triple crochet to make our little cobblestone. And then after your single crochet, you will do another triple crochet. So yarn over twice, insert your hook into that stitch, yarn over and pull through. Yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops only. Yarn over, next 2 loops. Yarn over and last 2 loops. There we go. And another single crochet. That's the pattern that you'll follow all the way until the end. A triple crochet, and then a single crochet, triple crochet, single crochet, one last triple crochet, and you will end with a single crochet. And then chain 1 and turn. Our first row of cobblestones. So cute. For this next row, and anytime that you have cobblestones facing you, you will do a row of single crochet. That's it. You'll go into that first stitch, which is the single crochet of the previous row. The next stitch, which is a triple crochet of the previous row. And you'll keep doing that until the end of your row. And our last single crochet into the top of our first treble crochet. Then you will chain 1 and turn. For this next row of cobblestones, we will actually start with a single crochet. And then we'll do our triple crochet. And then a single crochet. And just like that other cobblestone row, we'll just alternate between the 2 until the end. The difference with this row, though, is that we will be ending with a triple crochet because we started with a single crochet. So because of that, we don't have another stitch to do a single crochet on this row to make that cobblestone. So you will actually do a slip stitch in the same stitch as your triple crochet. This will not count as a stitch. It is simply to bring down that triple crochet to create the cobblestone. So you could actually tighten it a little bit here just to make that loop disappear so that you don't count it as a stitch on that next row. And then you'll chain 1 and turn. And we have our second row of cobblestones. Then, since we can see our cobblestones, we're going to do another row of single crochet. We're going to start with that treble crochet that we ended with. That will be our first single crochet, because remember, this itty bitty little slip stitch does not count as a stitch. And then the next single crochet, and then into the next treble crochet, and all the way across, just like we did. And we will end with a single crochet in the top of the single crochet from the previous row. Then chain 1 and turn. So we started this row of cobblestones, our second row of cobblestones, with a single crochet. So we're going to start our next row of cobblestones with a triple crochet. You'll just alternate between rows 2, 3, 4, and 5, all the way until your desired length, keeping in mind how you start your row of cobblestones. You'll either start it with a single crochet or a triple crochet. So just pay attention to that so that you can get the nice diagonal, the nice alternating, the nice alternating cobblestones there. So to begin this row, we will do a triple crochet. Up, and then a single crochet. And that's it. That's the Cobblestone Stitch. To start our waffle stitch, you want to do a foundation double crochet of a multiple of 3. If you're going to do a standard chain, then you want to chain a multiple of 3 plus 2. Do a double crochet in the third chain from your hook and all the way across. Just make sure that you end up with a multiple of 3 double crochet. Then we're going to turn. Here you have 2 options. You can chain 2, and that will count as your first double crochet, or you can do a stacked single crochet into that first stitch, and that will count as your first double crochet as well. I am going to do a stacked single crochet. And then for the next stitch, we're going to do a front post double crochet. If you aren't quite comfortable with doing front post double crochet, you can check out our video on how to do that. I go very, very slowly and walk through it with a fine-tooth comb. Can I use that phrase here? If you need help, check out that video. So we did a double crochet here. So this is not the post we're going to go around. We're going to go around the next post because that is the next stitch. Yarn over, insert your hook to the right of that post, stab it to the back, wrap it around and bring it to the front. Yarn over and pull through. Yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops. Yarn over and pull through the remaining 2 loops. Then we're going to do 2 double crochet in the next 2 stitches. Yarn over, insert your hook into that stitch. Yarn over and pull through. Yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through the remaining 2 loops on your hook. And the same thing in the next stitch. And then we're going to do another front post double crochet. So we did a double crochet here, so that belongs to this one, this post here. This double crochet belongs to this post here. So we're going to do our front post around this one. Insert your hook to the right, stab it to the back, wrap it around and bring it back to the front. Yarn over and pull through. Yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through the remaining loops on your hook. And we'll just do that again. 2 double crochet in the next 2 stitches. and 2. So this double crochet belongs to this front post, and this, or post, and this double crochet belongs to this post. So we're going to do a front post around this next one here. Insert your hook to the right, stab it to the back, wrap it around, and bring it to the front. Yarn over and pull through. Yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through the last 2 loops on your hook. And then we're going to do 2 double crochet in these next 2 stitches. That's 1. And here is 2. And then we'll do 1 last front post double crochet around this post here. So let's double check. Here's our double crochet into that stitch, so that post belongs to that one, and this post belongs to that one. So this is where our front post will go. And then in this final stitch, if you did a foundation double crochet, I always count the chain here as a stitch. So in this final stitch here, we'll just do a standard double crochet. That's our first row of our waffle. Then we're going to turn. Once again, you can do a chain 2 here or a stacked single crochet. This will count as your first double crochet of this row. In the next stitch, you will do a standard double crochet. And then for these 2, you are actually going to do a front post double crochet. If you remember, these 2 are a standard double crochet from the previous row. So you can kind of use that as a cheat from here on out. So we'll yarn over, insert our hook to the right of that post and stab it to the back, wrap it around and bring it back to the front. Yarn over and pull through. And again for the next one. And then for the next stitch, we'll do a standard double crochet. This stitch is actually the front post double crochet of the previous row. And we'll just repeat that same pattern. So around these 2 standard double crochet from the previous row, we will do a front post double crochet. That's 1. And 2. And then our next stitch is that front post from the previous row. So we will do a standard double crochet. And then 2 front posts. And we will end with 2 standard double crochet. That's 1 and 2. That's our second row for our waffle stitch. So let's see the reveal. It's not going to be a perfect waffle just yet, but we're going to be getting there. It's definitely a tease. Here we are. Yay, yay, yay. This is such a fun stitch. I love this stitch. It is so, so unique. Once again, you can start this row with a chain 2 or a stacked single crochet. and we are going to do exactly what we did on that second row, the row after our foundation. So this counts as our first double crochet. We're going to do a front post around this standard double crochet from this previous row. Followed by 2 standard double crochet for the 2 front post double crochet of the previous row. And then a front post double crochet. And 2 standard double crochet. Front post. Two standard. And a front post for this last one here. Before we do our bookend, standard double crochet there. Can you see it? Do you see the vision? And then turn, and we'll do exactly what we did here for this next row. So your chain 2 or your stacked single crochet, a double crochet here, 2 front post double crochet, standard double crochet, and then 2 front post double crochet. And you'll just repeat that same pattern all the way to the end. Look! Ah! There's our waffle! You can't tell me that doesn't look delicious. Come on now. You'll just keep repeating this until your desired length. The more you do, the more defined your waffle will become. So just keep going until you have that perfect, beautiful waffle. Isn't the waffle stitch so much fun? Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that these stitches help with your next washcloth project. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, subscribe, and ding the bell so that you know when we upload a new video. And we'll catch you in the next one. Bye!